Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters, welcome to another Just Doing My Makeup where I just do my makeup. So I've got some new stuff to play with today, but before we get started I want to talk about this thing. So I showed it in a couple of videos ago, and people were like, what the fuck is that, Hayley? Tell me the things. So it's from T2 and it's a tea brewing and straining contraption. So you put your tea in the top and you put your hot water in. It stays surprisingly hot in there, which is great. And then you just like sit it over your cup and it strains in to your glass. And these glasses are also from T2. They're the negative space tea glasses, so like you don't burn your hands, but they look cool. So recently Ulta 3 sent a box of goodies to try out. This is their Custom Nation collection. So it's basically a customizable palette and some lightening and darkening drops. You've got the darkening ones and the lightening ones. The lightening ones have a pink base, so if you're very yellow they might not work for you. And the darkening drops, I mean, they don't look super dark, but I think like they will help a lot of people if you do have like a winter shade and you want to make it your summer shade, but it's not going to work for everyone. But today I'm actually going to try out these ones. So I've got my Fenty Pro Filt'r foundation here. I'm just going to chuck some on a mixing tray. Look at that. That's pretty cool. This bottle's almost empty, so you know, that's a thing. But this shade probably won't be able to tell on my face, but it's very, like, it suits my face because my face hasn't got pretty much any color, but my body is much darker, so I am going to match to my body because I may have to leave the house today. Alright, so here's what I've got. When they first were being mixed in, I was like, oh, maybe too much, but I think this might work. Alright, so it started to oxidize. I'm actually going to take a little bit more of the Fenty. Those drops are surprisingly pigmented, so that is definitely something to keep in mind. Less is more, using a Tom Ford O2 brush. Okay, so initial thoughts is it hasn't changed the formula at all, as you would hope with these sort of drops. It's going on as I know Fenty does on my skin, which is really nice. And I can see that it has adjusted that foundation just a little bit. I have had to use more foundation on my mixing palette than I usually would, because I did make it a little bit too dark initially. Alright, well that seemed to work really nicely and I'm quite happy with that colour match. It looks like my body basically, which is fantastic. So the shade adjusting drops are available anywhere Ulta 3 is sold, and they retail for $9.95 a bottle. So I think that's a pretty good deal, and the fact that like it didn't change the consistency of the foundation or how it applied to the skin, yeah, I like them. I like the darkening ones. The lightening ones I probably wouldn't be able to use until we're like deep into winter here, so they're gonna have to hold off, but first impressions is I like these, and I'm going to continue using these to help me finish up this foundation so I don't have to hold on to it for, you know, another 3 months before the rest of my body fades to my normal color. Let's move on to eyes. So I've prepped them with the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer, and I'm going to use the Ulta 3 shadows that they sent through. So basically, it's an interesting little concept. So basically they come like this, little refills. There's 12 shades available. So you've got them like this, a little plastic bit that slips out, which is great because it means when they're not in your palette, they are protected. And this is the palette. Oh my gosh, I have a hard time opening this. All right, so there's the palette. There's a mirror. You can fit either 6 eyeshadows in here or 2 of their face powders and 2 eyeshadows. I'll get onto the face powders in a minute. There's also a little brush in there. I'm not into the little brush. It's just not, it's not for me. But there's, you know, a nice array of colors. You've got like nudes, you know, natural sort of easy to wear tones. And then there's also a blue and a purple in there just for like a little pop if that's what you want. So I'm going to start with the shade Hot Sand, or it might actually be a little bit too light for me. Yeah, it's going to be too light. I'm not going to start with this shade because I will regret my life choices. Before I get into applying eyeshadows, I'm going to give a little bit of a criticism about the shade selection of the eyeshadows. There's only 2 mattes, which is problematic for people like me who love to have a matte crease and then have like color over the lid, something shimmery. So there's so many shimmery shades. There's 10 shimmery shades and only 2 mattes. So the mattes are this, where are we? There. This sort of cork brown shade, which is called Desert Flower. And then there is a sort of pale nudie shade, which is called Blank Canvas. I was going to use this to set my eyeshadow primer, but it's a little bit too light for me. So it would have looked like I was highlighting my whole eye, which is just not what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is take Desert Flower and just blind you with a mirror. I'm going to take Desert Flower and I'm going to pop that in my crease and my outer corner. A little bit of kick up in the pan. Hopefully you can see there. Look at the pan, not my face. I'm using a Zoeva 228 Luxe crease brush. I would say that this particular color is not super pigmented. It is buildable, which, you know, it's better than not pigmented and not buildable. But I find that like it's taking a long time to get the eyeshadow on because I have to keep going back, dipping my brush in and stuff like that. So it's really going to depend on how you like to do your makeup. If you like your eyeshadows to be a little bit less pigmented so you can spend time building it up to the like color intensity that you want, then you would be quite happy with this particular shade. Alright, so there's the lighter tones. You've got like a champagne, a sort of pinky shimmer, and then like a peachy shimmer. I'm drawn to the peachy shimmer, to be honest. Then we have a taupe, sort of an old gold, and a chocolate brown. The pops of color are blue and purple, and you know, usually I would go for a colored shade. So today I kind of just want to appreciate these for the very wearable and nude tones that they are. So I'm going to skip these. And the 2 dark shades are a cooler brown and sort of like a slate grey. Now I have swatched these and they do swatch quite nicely. The matte that went on my eye, I will say this, I feel like the matte didn't, oh, I've got hair on my chin, on my chinny chin. The matte brown that I put on my eyes didn't swatch amazingly. I did like 2 swipes with that one. So I feel like it's applied true to how I sort of swatched it from the pan, if that makes sense. Now the metallics or the shimmery shades, they swatched much nicer, so I'm kind of hoping that they're going to apply with some nice pigmentation. I'm going to go in with Bubbly, so this is sort of like the pinky shimmery shade. Picks up nicely on a brush. I'm using a Crown Oval smudger for this job, and I'm just going to pack it all over my eyelid. I'm going to take So Peachy, which is the peach shade, and I'm just going to apply that with the same brush in the same area but closer to the lash line. Alright, I'm going to apply it wet to see if I can get some more intensity. I've just got the, not that you can see it, the Aven thermal spring water. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see the colour difference between the peach and the pale pink. It's subtle, but it is there. I think applying them wet really does help them. It helps to bring out the shimmer and also like the intensity of the actual base colour, which is great. For $2.95, I think the eyeshadows are pretty good. If you're the type of person who can't or doesn't want to spend a lot of money on makeup, I actually think it's not too bad. Like even the matte, okay, so the matte I had to build up quite a bit, but is it really a deal breaker? Oh, it's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I'm going to take my clothes off. I do have more base products from the Ulta 3 line, like blush, bronzer and highlighter, but I need to finish my base, which means concealer and setting it. So I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Corrector. I haven't used this in a long time, so I don't really remember how I feel about it. I'm just using a Shara concealer brush to get this on, and then my Tom Ford brush to blend it out. Quite like that. It doesn't look cakey under my eyes either, which is really nice. I'm going to use the Makeup Helper powder, which is in my project pan. Oh my god, there is so much powder in this. I'm using a Zoeva 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek just to set under my eyes. And a Morphe R2 to set the rest of my face. This is a nice powder. And it's huge. It's got like, oh, how much? 23 grams of product. So it's huge, and it just like, it's the powder that keeps on keeping on, but it's also got like a really nice finish. So I enjoy this one. Alright, time to bronze. So there's 2 bronzing shades from the Ulta 3 collection. If I can get it out of the palette. So the first one, and this is the shade I'll be using, is called Bronze Glow. And then there is Baked Bronze. And you might be able to tell with Baked Bronze, it's going to be too orange for me. So we're going to go ahead with Bronze Glow, because this looks like it's going to be a little bit more wearable for me. I'm using a Hakuhodo B512. Again, it looks like it's not super intensely pigmented, which is actually, like, that's what I like from a bronzer. I do prefer to be able to build it up to my desired coverage, rather than being afraid that, like, you're going in with too much at once. What can I say? That's a really nice subtle bronzer. I really like that. It's quite a good color for me at the moment, and I think it would also be suitable for me in winter, which is great. So I like it. There are two blushes in the range. So we have Coral Crush, which is this one here, and we've got Pretty in Pink, which is here. So I feel like I want to go Coral Crush, because yeah, I don't know if it'll work for me, but we'll try it. I'm using a Chikuhodo powder brush. Okay, again, not super pigmented, but that is great, because I like blushes that are really pigmented. Give me a hard time. I've got a heavy hand. I'm not good with the light blush application, and I kind of like that sort of yellowy orange hint that it gives to the skin. It's a little bit different to what I usually use, and it's kind of, I don't know, I like that. I'm really sick of pink blushes. I'm just gonna put that out there. I feel like, you know, it's always the same thing: pink, purple, red, but this orangey shade, I like it. The last products in the Ulta 3 set are the highlighters. So we've got Moonbeam over here with the pink, and Sunbeam here with the pale gold. I don't know what I want to use, but I think I'm gonna go the pale gold to keep with the tones that are currently on my actual face. It's bringing out my texture really intensely, but let's just get a little bit off there. But it's definitely highlighty. So I don't think they're too bad. For me, it's difficult to be like, yeah, they're great, because they do emphasize my texture, and personally that's something that I really don't like the look of on my own skin. But they do offer glow. It's not super blinding, but it's definitely, it's there, and I think it is a pretty glow. If you've got, you know, smoother cheekbones than I do, you're probably gonna like the look of these a lot more. Alright, I've just applied mascara, liner, lashes. I'm wearing the Nikkia Joy Natalie lashes, and I just cut them in half. Oh my god, it's not a good wing liner day. This side turned out like just perfect. Everything just worked, and on this side it's just like I even got lash glue in my eye, and just not good. I am gonna put a little bit of eyeshadow along my lower lash line. I'm gonna use the shade Totally Taupe. So it is shimmery, but I don't care. I'm gonna go for it. I'm using a Hakuhodo J246HS. It's very light, and it's quite pigmented actually, but that's alright. We'll just we won't worry too much. And I am going to put a little bit of mascara on my lower lash line. I'm a bit worried about this because I haven't used this mascara to do it before. It's the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. Oh, clumpy. Just using a metal eyelash definer from Crown Brushes to break up those clumpy lashes. Let's finish up these lips. I have a lipstick here from Shu Uemura. It's from the Yazbukey Shu Uemura collection. This is in the shade Currant Mood. It looks purple. It is a dark, deep berry red. And I have used this before. It can get a little bit skippy along like the lip line. So I'm going to line my lips with a Colourpop lip liner. It's the shade Creature and it's almost an exact match. I would say they're pretty darn close. These lipsticks from the Yazbukey collection are really nice. They last really well. They do dry down matte. I've got, the formula is a little bit like that kind of silicone-y formula, but it's very light and very smooth. They do dry down matte and they last a really long time. I really like them. I think fantastic lipsticks. I also have, new from Shu Uemura, is the Stage Performer Fresh Top Coat setting spray. So this is one of those setting sprays. It's got a powder in it, so you have to like shake it well to activate it. And what's great about this, I've used it quite a few times now, it doesn't leave your face sticky and it doesn't leave little like white specks on your face, which is fantastic. I will say this stuff comes out with a vengeance. It is not a super soft fine mist. It is quite like, it's wet. So I would highly recommend holding the bottle back as far as you can. And you can see like I've saturated my face, which is how I like to use it. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. A little bit of a recap. The Ulta 3 stuff, look, it surprised me. I think they're very affordable. Eyeshadows $2.95 each. Face pans are $3.95 each. And then you've got the compact, which is how much? $6.95 for the compact. They're all magnetic. I like that they come with like the packaging that, you know, keeps them safe when they're not in your palette, so you don't have to buy multiple palettes if you don't want. You can buy the pans, you can buy a palette, you can mix and match it as you please. I think it would be a good little one for travel. I think the pigmentation, okay, it's not, you know, it's no Anastasia Beverly Hills, but we've also seen that, you know, sometimes too much pigmentation is not a great thing. These ones are nice. They're, you know, they don't like skip, they're not patchy, they're buildable, so you can go for a really, really soft, subtle, like no makeup look, or you can build it up to just a nice, natural, wearable finish. I like it, okay? The highlighters, they accentuate texture for me, which makes them not my favorite thing in the world, but it's not going to be a problem for everyone. So I think they're quite good. The Shu Uemura things, look, I love the lipstick. It is beautiful and I've been wearing it quite a bit lately. The color, yes, it is such an autumn and winter color. I love my dark reds, and the setting spray is also fantastic. I really, really like it. Alright guys, so that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.